Guys, when you were growing up and you were reading the X-Men or the comic of your choice, did you ever find yourself particularly struck by the hotness of the characters in the comics? Now, for teenage boys, I'm not talking about that, okay? We all go through that, okay? But no, this is different. Did you actually notice how exceptionally attractive, impossibly hot these characters were? You know what I mean? Just like, damn, these are like really, really hot people. You know what I mean? Like to the point where you were distracted from the actual story and the adventure and the action of it all. I don't think so. I think that part of the attraction that we felt when we were looking at these characters with their like really, really jacked up bodies and shit like that is that they were superheroes. In superheroes, I guess they're a certain ideal. They're braver than we are. They're stronger than we are. They're funnier than we are. And yes, they're built better than we are most of the time. So that's kind of part of the whole scope of reading the superhero comic books. You know what I mean? You're reading something that is super. That means more than what is normal, and that's kind of the understanding that you go into it with when you're reading these comics. But I came across this article in Screen Rant, which has gone out of its way to make it a point, to make it canon, the reason why the X-Men are so hot. So hot. And we're going to talk about it. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, I know this is a question that's been dogging you for years, but let's get into the reasons why it is canon. It's now canon why the X-Men are so hot. Okay, so like I said, this article is on Screen Rant. I'm going to read a little bit of this for you so you can see what this is all about. The headline is, X-Men found a canon reason to make its heroes as hot as possible. The X-Men have always been a sexy bunch, but with Krakoa's new resurrection protocols, there is now a canon reason for every mutant's extreme hotness. Throughout the decades, the X-Men have been known and often mocked for having extremely hot members. I've got a hot member. I mean, can I be an X-Men? Is that all it takes? I don't know. But in Marvel Comics' newest era for mutants, they have officially established that the Krakoans' extreme hotness is, in fact, canon. Long-established mutant icons such as Jean Grey, Storm, Cyclops, and Colossus have always been shown to have society's ideal bodies. But on the island of Krakoa, mutants who have not been seen as sexy are suddenly able to be reborn with their idealized looks. Well, that's interesting. While this may not have fit in with Professor X's past mission to integrate mutants and humans, it is just another way for the new Krakoan philosophy to advocate for the continued separation of the two races. Of course, because that's what it's all about these days anyway. Separations, drawing those lines. Before, it was a metaphor for people coming together. Now, they want to go out of their way to show the ways that we can separate people. This is very bloody interesting indeed, and it goes on. With the creation of Krakoa's new resurrection protocols, mutants are now effectively immortal. But the resurrection doesn't just revive mutants to the point at which they died. With the power of the Five and Xavier's cerebral technology, mutants are now able to be resurrected at whatever age they want. And they are even able to make cosmetic changes to their genes. Ha ha! Here's where it gets interesting. Here's where the social relevance comes in. Pay attention, guys. This has led to the general attractiveness of the mutant nation skyrocketing, but also has the unfortunate side effect of making Krakoans more visibly different mutants look even other. Okay, guys. Look at what we're introducing into these comics that our children are going to be reading. The idea of achieving your idealized appearance or even age, okay, through artificial means. Cosmetic changes, by the way. It's funny because up until now, we've been about acceptance. You know what I mean? Like body acceptance, you accept your sexuality, who you are and everything like that. But they're actually introducing a concept within a comic book where you can change yourself from like who you are to who you think you are. Like, you never do know exactly how you appeal to other people or appear or, attract other people. You never do know that. But now it's saying that you can control that through artificial means. All right. This is an interesting concept to be pushing out there. One of the more hilarious examples of X-Men leaning into the new resurrection protocols to become the next Michelangelo's David is Quentin Kire's continuous request for cosmetic changes. Quentin is dying a lot in his new role on X-Force, and every time he is resurrected, he puts in a request to the Five, as seen below, asking for changes such as biological hair color to be pink, of course, eliminating hair follicles in annoying areas. Like, doesn't this sound like a brochure you pick up at a plastic surgeon's office? You know what I mean? Like, changing your biological hair color, eliminating hair follicles in annoying areas, and seemingly asking for his feet to be larger for his new girlfriend, Phoebe Cuckoo. So he wants his feet to be larger. He wants larger feet for his girlfriend. But not every mutant is asking for such shallow resurrection requests, with some being revived much younger and healthier, allowing them to live life more fully. Pay attention to this part. A powerful example of this de-aging is shown in Marvel's Voices Pride #1, Man of His Dreams. Whereas it is revealed that a seemingly unknown mutant named Sumnus died of old age years before ever getting to come out as gay. There it is! There it is! It's always there, guys! It's always there! This is the point. This is the devil in the details. It goes on. Dakin retrieves his body, and Sumnus is resurrected as his younger self, allowing him to live a life as an out and proud gay man who also happens to be incredibly hot. Additionally, the recent revival of Mystique's longtime love interest Destiny, who has traditionally been shown to be older, led to her being resurrected as a true bombshell. Alright guys, I'm not going to read the rest of that article. You see where it's going. This is what it is. Alright, they have introduced as canon into the X-Men of all titles, a title that I always saw as a metaphor for accepting your individuality. They have introduced the concept as canon of being able to change yourself the way you identify. What does that sound like in 2021? It sounds like more of that agenda, more of that doctrine, of acceptance, of just accepting people the way they want to be accepted, not the way that they are. This is more indoctrination. Now, guys, I remember when I was younger, and I recently mentioned this on a Dark Council stream, two of my favorite characters when I was growing up, two of my first favorite comic book characters was Spider-Man and The Thing. And I've talked about The Thing, Benjamin Grimm, before. He was my favorite character because he was the only one of the Fantastic Four that was changed into something that he truly, truly hated. A thing, a monster, a rocky beast, all right? Something that people would run away from. And when I was growing up, I had to deal with the fact that I was realizing that the world didn't always look favorably upon me. I was a dark-skinned black boy, and I was also bigger and taller than the other kids. So that meant that I was always subject to people's dumbass observations. Oh my God, you're just walking in a door. I could hold the door open for somebody. By all means, you go first. It's like, what the fuck, dog? I'm a human being, you know what I mean? But when I was growing up, I had to deal with shit like that, and I still do. The only thing is now I've learned how to accept who I am. I legitimately love who I am, which affects my ability to be able to love others. That's why I'm not impressed by people who are on that rah, rah, rah. You know what I mean? I love me. It's all about pride for me. And that's the reason why I hate you. No, if you love who you are, then you love others. See, I'm the real deal, and I understand that. And part of the reason why I understand that is because I was able to identify with a character like Ben Grimm. Ben Grimm, who was rocky on the outside, but on the inside, Ben Grimm was, he was a warm human being. He was a funny human being. He was somebody who was worth getting to know. You know, his blue eyes were like my brown eyes to the soul. You know what I mean? And it was what it was. And I love that character because he wasn't perfect. He wasn't ideal. He wasn't hot. You know what I mean? But the character was still attractive. The character was able to get Alicia. You know, she was blind, which was funny, but you know, he was able to find love. You know what I mean? And as a young kid who was getting to know and accept myself, I was like, you know, if Ben Grimm, you know, can overcome the way society sees him, then surely I can, you know, and surely other kids can and other people can, and you can find something in other people to love, you know, that goes beyond their surface. But look at what you have here. You know, you have them introducing into canon of the X-Men, like I said, of all things, that you have the ability to change who you are. And guys, this is interesting because isn't this something similar to what you saw in Wonder Woman, where you had Bia, who is a tranny, you know, or a trans person who came, there's the dog, you know, who came to the island and was able to become a woman, no longer trans, but to become an actual woman. So all of that talk about self-pride is just a bunch of bullshit at the end of the day. If you can blink your eye and just be what you want to be and take yourself away from who you are. You know, I've often said we would see where Black pride, for example, would go if people had the ability to change their skin tone, you know, to change their skin color, to change their hair texture, you know, and I think we're moving further and further towards that reality. The question is, guys, at the end of the day, where is your morality? Where is your belief in your creator and your creation? You know, when you can just throw away what you are and how you are and the reasons why you might be that way for your limited understanding of who you want to be. I don't know, guys, if that makes any sense, but let me know how you feel about this in the X-Men, them introducing this as canon, that you can now change who you are to be who you want to be and how you want to be. Is that an interesting concept or what? Let me know what you think about this, guys. You can get in the comment section as always. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on Twitter. You can also catch me on Odyssey. You know, I'll leave the link in the description below. Give me a follow over there. I would appreciate it, guys, because sooner or later me and YouTube will part ways because I believe in speaking my mind. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.